What is comedy? What makes a comedian? How is comedy? What? I saw a clip recently from the Mark Norman's podcast where he was talking about some actor, and he doesn't consider them to be a comedian because they don't do stand-up comedy. And I was thinking about what all these different big comedians, what really makes someone a comedian in the eyes of the people. So that's what this video is going to be about. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to disagree, or you're going to see the thumbnail and you're going to get mad about who I included in the thumbnail. Just leave a comment. Let me know. We'll talk about this in the comments. You don't have to be mad. This is just a fun video. A fun video, fun discussion. I was thinking about someone like Ben Stiller, who his whole career has been around comedy. He's done comedy movies. He's directed comedy movies. He's acted in comedy movies. He was a part of SNL and sketch shows. But he didn't do stand-up comedy. Does he still be considered being a comedian? A comedian is essentially just someone who makes money making comedy. I mean, makes a living making comedy. And stand-up comedy, I think for most people is considered like the upper kind of echelon, because the whole idea of that is just being funny, making comedy. If you compare that to someone like Ryan Reynolds, so Ryan Reynolds, he's in a lot of comedy movies. A lot of people consider him to be a comedic person. A lot of his movies are around comedy, like Deadpool or like a Van Wilder. I think the issue with that is like those are heavily reliant on the writing and the directing. Acting is definitely a part of that, and how the actor embodies the comedic role, I think, is a big part of it. But would he be considered a comedian? I think that's up for interpretation of people. I would say he's more an actor who does comedy from time to time, because he also, he does dramatic roles, he does action roles, he does a lot of different roles that aren't just comedy. And I think also he helped with writing the Deadpool movies. So if he was writing, I don't know what else he's done for writing, if he's been writing comedic stuff. But if it's just like 3 movies that he's like written to be have a comedic focus, and someone else is like the main writer of them, I don't know that I would consider that being comedic. But then again, people are probably going to disagree. Who cares? What else? Someone like Will Ferrell, he's a predominantly comedic actor, never did stand-up. I think he started in improv at the Second City. So improv is a different type, because it's similar to stand-up, where it's like just a comedic performance. It's similar to stand-up, but they're acting on stage in a comedic way, and they're kind of coming up with it on the spot. But there's not really like a career path for that. The career path for most improvisers is just go into movies, or in Will Ferrell's case, go to SNL, and then go into movies and TV after that. But a lot of the times, if you ask people like who some of their favorite comedians are, they typically will bring him up as like a popular comedian, despite not doing stand-up. So this seems to be just a very like a somewhat of an ego thing for stand-ups, that's the only true comedian. If you're a stand-up, that means that you fall within the comedian category. Someone like a improviser, I think they would say, but someone like an actor who's known for comedic acting wouldn't be considered a comedian. Now with podcasts, throws a whole shift in it, because now there's all these comedic podcasts, like the Ned Declassified podcast. Is that a comedic podcast? Are they comedians now because they do a funny podcast? Are the comedians is this like an ego thing? Like they're just, only we can be comedians because we're the only ones who strictly stick to comedy, and then once they convert to becoming an actor, are they no longer a comedian? Like Eddie Murphy, he was one of the biggest comedians of all time, converted to become an actor, hasn't done stand-up in however many years, mostly comedic movies, but he's done some serious roles in there too. Well, is that still considered to be a comedian? Is he even still considered to be a stand-up comedian? I mean, he primarily did it, but it's not his like current thing he's doing anymore. So does that still count? I've also seen the reverse of that, where someone who started in acting and then converts into comedian. Like now, what Will Arnett is doing. He was in the stand-up comedy movie. Now he's doing stand-up comedy in real life. I've seen some people online have some issue with that, stand-up fans specifically, as if to say, he's a actor, he's already famous, and he's like known for these comedic roles. Why is he now going into stand-up comedy and kind of taking the thing that we do, or that we kind of hold close to us? So it's a lot of weird, semantics and, opinions, and a lot of, this where we're making up rules that don't exist. None of this is real or matters. I could see how if someone, like Vince Vaughn, who he wasn't a stand-up comedian, but he like hosted a stand-up comedy show. Is that, would that be considered disrespectful to stand-up comedians? Ultimately, I know none of this matters. Like, this is the least important, opinion to have on anything. But I think it's interesting, and I think that people need to, have a solid understanding. Like, to me, if someone is like predominantly like doing comedy and like putting out comedic works, then sure. But if it's someone like Ryan Reynolds, like, I wouldn't consider him a comedian. I'm sure most people watching wouldn't consider him a comedian. And I don't even think he would consider himself a comedian. And if he did, I think a lot of people would have issue with that, specifically like stand-up and comedy fans. But then would that also mean that, stand-ups who go into acting, are they not considered actors because they focus on this one thing and they're only doing the acting thing sometimes? Like a Louis C.K. He's done acting roles. He's done, TV shows and writers and all that, but he primarily does stand-up tours as a stand-up. Is he not an actor because he's, mostly a comedian? I don't know. This is all just, I'm asking this to the viewers, and I'm hoping that you guys will have opinions and let me know in the comments, because this is, I need to know what to think about. No, I don't care. I don't care whatever anyone thinks about this. I just, this would be an interesting topic for a video. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Who is a comedian? Who isn't a comedian? What are the rules? Does it, like me? I don't really. I'm not. This is not my living, but like everything I do is pretty much comedy related. Does that make me a comedian? Let me know. Who cares? Hey, and if you're still watching this, thanks for watching this. This was a bit of a different kind of take on a topic than the ones that I've normally been doing. Like I've been talking about movies. I thought this would be kind of a fun change of pace, because it's still comedy and movie adjacent, but it's more of just me giving my opinion on something that's maybe other people are thinking about this too. So yeah, thanks for watching this. I'll see you guys next time. Big peace.